Does it dry up like a raisin in the sun? Or fester like a sore, and then run? Does it stink like rotten meat? Or crust and sugar over like syrupy sweet? Or maybe it just sags like a heavy load? Or does it explode? Harlem, A Dream Deferred, is a poem written by Langston Hughes on the fragility of the American dream in the midst of racism. Lorraine Hansberry uses the phrase, a raisin in the sun, from Hughes' poem to depict the harsh reality of the American dream that aches in a man named Walter, a father, a husband, a son, and a brother, as he negates his identity as a lower-class African-American in coveting material possession and authoritative power over the needs of his family and his own humanity. However, Lorraine Hansberry mends this flaw through the unconditional love of Walter's own mother, who not only gives him a second chance, yet also redeems his dignity as a person and a rise to his selfhood as a man. In the first scene, Walter is on a rebellious strike by not going in for work for 3 days after finding out that his mother had just spent most of the money for the welfare check, $10,000, that came in after his father's death. He comes home drunk and he's confronted by his mother and his wife, Ruth.
Oh, Walter, and with your mother working like a dog every day?
That's too sad. But everything's sad.
What you been doing for these 3 days, son?
Mama, you don't know all the things a man that got leisure can do up in the city. What's today? Friday night? Well, Wednesday I borrowed Willie Harris's car, and I went for a drive. Just me and myself, and I drove and drove. Way, way past South Chicago, and I just parked the car and I sat and looked at the steel mills. I just sat and looked at them big black chimneys all day. And then I went back to the Green Hat. Thursday I borrowed the car again, and I pointed it in the other direction, and I drove away for hours. I drove way up to Wisconsin. I looked up at the farms, and I just drove and looked at farms all day. Then I drove back and went back to the Green Hat. And today I didn't use the car. Today I just walked all over the South Side. And I looked at Negroes, and they looked at me. And finally, I just sat down on the curb at 39th and South Parkway. And I just sat there and watched Negroes go by. And then I went to the Green Hat. You all sad? You all depressed? And you know where I'm going right now.
Oh, Big Walter, is this the harvest of our days?
You know what I like about the Green Hat? I like this little cat they got here who blows the sax. He blows. He talks to me. He ain't about 5 feet tall, and he's got a conked head, and his eyes are always closed. And he's all music.
Walter.
And there's this other guy who plays the piano, and they got a sound together. I mean, they can work on some music together. They got the best little combo in the world in the Green Hat. You can just sit there and drink and listen to them 3 men play, and you realize don't nothing matter except just being there.
I've helped you too with having our son. Walter, I've been wrong.
Nah, Mama. You ain't never been wrong about nothing.
Listen to me now. I tell you, I've been wrong. I've been doing to you what the rest of the world's been doing to you. Walter, what you ain't never understood is that I ain't got nothing. Don't own nothing. Never wanted anything that wasn't for you. There's nothing in this world precious to me. Money, dreams, nothing else. If it means it's going to destroy my boy. I paid the man $3,500 down on the house. That leaves $6,500. Monday morning, I want you to take this money and take $3,000 and put it in a savings account for Benita's medical schooling. The rest you put in a checking account with your name on it. And from now on, any penny that come out of it or that go into it is for you to look after, for you to decide. It ain't much, but it's all I got in the world, and I'm putting it in your hands. I'm telling you to be the head of this family like you're supposed to be.
You trust me like that, Mama?
I ain't never stopped trusting you, just like I ain't never stopped loving you. Walter takes the insurance money from his mother and invests all of it into a liquor store. His partners in the business are two men named Bobo and Willie Harris. But in this next scene, Bobo comes to Walter's apartment and informs them that the transaction has taken a disastrous turn.
Hey man, where's Willie at?
He ain't with me.
Oh, come on in. You know my wife.
Yes, how you do, Miss Ruth? Hello, Bobo.
You right on time today. Right on time. Sit down. Let me hear.
Could I please get a drink of water before I tell you about it, Walter Lee?
There ain't nothing wrong, is there?
Well, let me tell you.
Man, didn't nothing go wrong.
Let me tell you, Walter Lee. You know how it was. I gotta tell you how it was. First I gotta tell you how it was all the way. About the money I put in, Walter Lee.
What about the money you put in?
Well, it wasn't much, as we told you. Me and Willie. I got a bad feeling about it, Walter. I got a real bad feeling about it.
Man, what are you telling me all this for? What happened in Springfield?
Springfield. What was supposed to happen in Springfield? This deal that me and Walter went into with Willie. Me and Willie was going to go down to Springfield and spread some money around so we wouldn't have to wait so long for the liquor license. That's what we were going to do. Everybody said that's the way you had to do it. You understand this, Ruth?
Man, what happened down there?
I'm trying to tell you, Walter.
Then tell me! What's the matter with you? What happened down there?
Man, I didn't go to no Springfield yesterday.
What? Why not?
'Cause I didn't have no reasons to.
Man, what are you talking about?
I'm talking about the fact that when I got to the train station yesterday morning, 8 o'clock, like we planned, man, Willie was gone.
Why? Where was he?
That's
Where is he?
That's what I'm trying to tell you. I don't know. I waited 6 hours. I called his house and I waited 6 hours. I waited in that train station 6 hours. That was all the extra money I had in the world. Man, Willie's gone.
Gone? What do you mean Willie's gone? Willie's gone? Gone where? You mean he went by himself? You mean he went to Springfield by himself to take care of getting the license? You mean maybe he didn't want too many people in the business down there? You know Willie got his own ways. Or maybe you were late yesterday and he just went down there without you. Maybe he's calling you at home trying to tell you what happened or something. Maybe he's sick. I don't know. He's somewhere. We just got to find him. We got to find him. Me and you. We got to find him. We got to.
What's the matter with you, Walter? When a cat takes off with your money, he don't leave you no maps. In the final scene, Walter has just made a call to Mr. Linder, a lawyer representing an affluent white community who offered his family a hefty amount of money to buy off the home that his mother has purchased. Benitha, Ruth, and Mama respond to the aftermath of Walter's confession.
That is not a man. That is nothing but a toothless rat.
Yes, death don't come in this here house. Done come walking into my house. On the lips of my children. You what's supposed to be my harvest. You what's supposed to be my beginning again. You mourning your brother?
He's no brother of mine.
What you say?
I said that that individual in that room is no brother of mine.
That's what I thought you said. You feeling better than he is today? Yes? You give him up for me? Yes? You done wrote his epitaph too, like the rest of the world? Well, who give you the privilege?
Be on my side for once. You saw what he just did, Mama. You saw him down his knees. Wasn't it you who told me to despise any man who would do that? Do what he was going to do?
Yes, I taught you that. Me and your daddy. But I thought I taught you something else too. I thought I taught you to love him.
Love him? There is nothing left to love.
There is always something left to love. And if you haven't learned that, then you ain't learned nothing. Have you cried for that boy today? I don't mean for yourself and for the family because we lost the money. I mean for him. What he been through and what it done to him. When you think it's the best, is the time to love somebody the most. When he done good and made things easy for everybody, well then you ain't through learning. Because that ain't the time at all. It's when he's at his lowest and can't believe in himself because the world done whipped him so. When you start measuring somebody, measure him right, Charles. Measure him right. Make sure you take into account what hills and valleys he come through before he got to wherever he is.
Grandmama, the moving men are downstairs. They just pulled up.
They are, baby? They downstairs?
Hello.
He's here.
Well, I certainly was glad to hear from you people. Life can be really simple, then people let it be most of the time. Well, with whom do I negotiate? You, Miss Younger, or your son here? Just some official paper, Sonny.
Travis, you go downstairs.
No. Travis, you stay right here. And you make him understand what you're doing, Walter Lee. You teach him good, like Willie Harris taught you. You teach him what our 5 generations don't come to. Go ahead, son.
Well, Miss Linda, we called you here today because, well, my family here we're very plain people.
Yes.
You know, I've worked as a chauffeur all my life, and my wife, she does domestic work in people's houses. So does my mother. We are very plain people.
Yes, Mr. Younger.
And my father, he was a laborer most of his life.
Yes.
My father almost beat a man half to death because somebody called him a bad name or something. You know what I mean?
No, I don't know what you mean.
Well, what I'm trying to tell you is we are a very proud family who have a lot of pride. I mean, we are very proud people. And this is my sister right here. And she's going to be a doctor. And we're very proud.
Well, I'm sure that's very nice, but...
What I'm trying to tell you is that we called you over here to tell you that we are proud. And this right here is my son, who makes the